Okay, we are off and about to go racing. Eyes on the light. Juniorgp race 2 is underway. Huge wheelie from further back in the grid, but it's Brian Uriarte who gets away all right. But he's got the same company, Leonardo Zanni from the outside the front row. Looked good, but it didn't look the perfect one, and Zanni has capitalized on that. Yellow flags out at Turnwich in between the two. Brilliant start from Zanni, but yes, for row 2 as it was, but it is Joel Esteban firing it up the inside of Jesus.
He's starting on pole. I mean, absolutely sensational stuff. I mean, how audacious do you need to be?
And he has opened up a bit of a gap over Rios. Then it's Esteban and Samela before Uriarte. He's slipped down, trouble coming the way of Uriarte, or can he fight his way back here? Coming through the last couple of corners. Yeah, so a drag race now towards turn 1 as we clock off a lap here in.
And this is more of what we were expecting from Esteban. He didn't make me stick for long, but he was absolutely won again and shows what he's capable of. But for the time being, it's Zanni who's just getting away from it. Uriarte compensating now on the second lap for what happened.
Absolutely, so 3 abreast as they come into Danny Pedrosa corner to Uriarte then, who would be in second position ahead of Jesus Rios. And that's a little movers or shakers. There's a couple of riders slipping one way or another by a position or 2. So we're close to knocking off another lap. We're coming through sector 4 and Zanni's got 1 out the half a second. He's still got quite a few 5 lengths to stare, but it is 4 in the lead coming into turn 1 here.
Yeah, here's Zanni close enough though. For the time being, it's still Zanni, but it's Uriarte who's setting the fastest lap at 1:46.0.
The championship leader, and the hunt is very much on here. You can see him swarming all over the rear tyre of Leonardo Zanni, and there he's adopting the outside line. It's working for him. He's back in the lead, Brian Uriarte, and it's much like what it was in race 1. Uriarte to burn if he can get going. There's a bit of a gap now between 3rd and 4th position, but it is David Gonzalez who's leading.
That's what he's got so keen to do now. So for the time being, it just looks like Uriarte, Zanni and Rios are pulling away a bit. But again,
interested to see what the times are. 145.7, 145.9 and 145.9.
Look at the nerves in that box there as they watch these two battle again. There's Spaniard. With the rivalry emerging between Zanni and Rios is really there or thereabouts. It's with Rios. We've seen perform incredible feats.
Saw him lying in wait for much of the race. I think it was in Catalonia last year that he was sitting happily in 5th, 6th while all the squabbling was going. Currently stuck behind David Gonzalez, and he's looking to make the move ahead of Joel Esteban. Gonzalez and Esteban going side by side, but now it is Samela's time, 146.577. So not in the 145s like the lead trio. It was a 145.6 for him to make up. He's what, about 2 seconds behind the rider in 3rd place.
And it does feel like that gap is great.
Yeah, quite a bit of ground to cover. He's put some space between himself and this trio of riders already. About half a lap in. Out front, Uriarte is being challenged by Leonardo Zanni. Uriarte has a little look over the left shoulder, but now he needs to look ahead because it's use him as his reference around this track and learn where is the best place to strike on the number 57.
Well, we've seen him striking here at turn 13, Euler Endo and Rios.
Yeah, you can see Rico Samela then is closing in. Joel Esteban at the back of that group. Something went wrong for him. I think at that final corner he must have ran wide because his name went tumbling down. Eli Palantina, Joel Esteban. Julio Pugliese is there as well. Watching, it looks like they do not have the pace to go with the Podium trio. They don't have the pace to follow Rico Samela, who is in fact remaining.
Yeah, it's really bad. Just absolutely incredible to listen
more problems coming the way of Uriarte here. Jesus Rios, and makes it a Fee Network 1-2 at the front. It was unfortunate to miss out on the podium last time around, but he's here in a lead group of 3 riders. Rico Samela though, a 145.9. Fastest rider on track right now is the Flying Finn. He's quicker though, but he's still quicker. He's got 5
as well. This battle is raging between these 3 Brian Uriarte this is, and now there goes Uriarte on the inside of Rios. He's going to make it stick. Oh, that's close.
Thanks today, he's looking over there in case he was warming, just shaking at the front end there. David Gonzalez tries to drop it, but O'Gorman holds on to the position. So right through penalty. Jesus Rios then is in 4th position with Joel Esteban and Casey O'Gorman.
A fantastic start from Leonardo Zanni. He's shown absolutely incredible ability there to get the best.
And we go racing in Junior GP. It's a solid start from your pole sitter. Uriarte storms away actually at the front. It's straight away from...
He's built up a big gap already to the number 97 behind him, heading into turn 5. And just look at the spray when you're not at the front of the field.
Yeah, plenty of spray further down the order, and it's going to make things very, very tricky. And Morelli having the moment on pushing them wide through turn 3, and Morelli up into second potentially at turn 3. They crack on the power though, head down the back.
I don't think he could have wished for a more perfect start if he had wanted to.
I'm sure the team would have had a couple of words on these opening laps just to relax, get settled in, because it's so clearly tricky out there on the left hand side of the circuit. Usually the line you would take on the exit of turn 5, but in these conditions super treacherous. Of course now we make our once more and head towards turn 8. Through the left we go. Casey O'Gorman sitting just behind his teammate at the moment. Should be enough to sort of hold on to his championship lead, or at least just make it 1 or 2 points or equal. So it could be a very big
Just forget about that crash a few more times. A second ahead of O'Gorman, but the Irishman, Esteban has gone wide at top 5. O'Gorman on the apex. Has he got an opportunity to take lead? He has.
Keep his cool, keep calm. Salmela enters the podium fight. He's up to P3 now on board the ground to make up if they want to match these top 3 or 4 riders, as we do see this battle actually further down the order, and this is your fastest.
Obviously this is the first time they've ridden in the rain, but if you're going to follow anyone apart from Uriarte, you're going to follow
Sessions. P12 now for him. You would have to say 4 laps go, a top 10 finish is definitely on the cards.
It looks like it might be. In fact, even he's 9 seconds. That is possible for Uriarte. It would be a remarkable comeback after the crash.
Yeah, it certainly would. I mean, if you could finish inside top 10, you would have to say there's not important couple of points for Uriarte, because with there being a small break before we head for round 4, it does mean that if you make a mistake, if you score no points, it's
at the 180-degree corner, turn 8.
Yeah, a solid move, textbook stuff from Esteban. And so far there, see where the grip was, and then slowly chipped away, slowly attacked, and then waited until he knew he was confident at a corner, quick at a corner, to the overtake. And slightly tighter line for Esteban on the way into the corner, and through the move they do make a lot solid or 3 right okay, but super easy to crack out in these struggling with race pace, it's half race distance. Of course, as the laps tick on, wherever conditions improve, as you said, to push a little bit more in the closing stages of this race. Yeah, it certainly is.
It really is. Morelli has been quick for this weekend so far. In the drive, you must stress.
Well, Marco Morelli, he continues to set the pace as Uriarte continues to make
seconds away from Evan Belford in 8th, so that might be a bit too much for him to do. But
definitely top 10.
3 seconds to Leonardo Abruzzo in 9th.
Overall result after that mistake earlier on, it'll be a real good damage limitation, but Rammestoffer as well now, as we do see a rider down.
You know, Hakim Danish and Brian Uriarte, they know the old school vibe to it, but the hillsides is rammed fully at all. But as we saw yesterday, the race pace wasn't as MotoGP Rookies Cup Race 2 here at Magello. The lights are out and away we go. Who makes a good start? Christian Daniel Jr. is tucked in behind Brian Uriarte, but it is the 51 of Bristol corner. Who's going to be brave on the brakes? Up the inside, no, it's Brian Uriarte who has it covered and sweeps through the first right-hander.
All very, very delicately clean and avoided white lines, but it is Uriarte from Daniel, and then Utama. Carter Thompson slots it into fourth. He narrowly missed the back wheel of the act from Jerez, the first round of the year. You've got Gonzalez in 5th as well, Peter.
Yes, and already the 70th Christian Daniel Jr. looking for a wipe and far.
I do wonder what kind of race we're about to see. Will the riders have looked at what happened yesterday? I can't have that kind of mess again if I have it on pace. Behind the 51 of Uriarte, he switches towards the inside line, and Daniel goes for the lead, but thinks better of it through Arabiata, hill to Arabiata too. And that's where he makes his move on time. Uriarte says no way. Already up into the podium position.
Benjamin Fernandez, of course, he's already had a win in race 2 at Le Mans, so we know he has won in the last couple of races. Obviously trying to put that right. Daniel Utama, the 54. Brian Uriarte on the
Supersport 300 championship last weekend. Fernandez and Thompson taking a win apiece. Really good.
Brilliant stuff. That's 180 kilometres an hour, 112 miles an hour there as that move uphill. The 51 of Brian Uriarte onto the start and finish to complete lap 2.
From one side of the track to the left, and trying to keep it fairly sensible as Thompson and Singh. They now come across the Tricolore. They're going to fan out as they come towards Sandbreakers. You've got the number 4 of Sullivan Mounty in there too. Zemitani the 34, but no, it looks to be Hakim Danish who's got the inside look he possibly can from those tyres. Mounty the number 4, up to 4, but momentarily as Singapore takes it straight back from him.
And I didn't see who it was who went way right and way back, but it is the 50 of Carter Thompson, the Australian, who has the slightest advantage.
I think it was Morelli who went really wide at turn 1, Peter. He's done a 19 out for the Argentinian right now.
He's brilliant one weekend and just doesn't have it all together the next, but it still is Carter Thompson, the 17-year-old Australian Argentinian, trying to squeeze through.
What an advert, Peter, this is for the Asia Talent Cup. I know they're taking sign-ups for the following year at the moment, but look at this, Asia Talent Cup.
So, 50 has the
and disappointed not to have the victory once again.
Yeah, I think another person to look to is Benyan Fernandez, because he started from the back of the grid with a grid penalty yesterday. He's in 13 laps of Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup action. 66 coming into the first corner first, and away they go. And again, Brian Ariarte gets it rolling very well, and so does Veda. Veda again has the advantage from pole position. That's right. And as I say, they go through the gearbox through the left-hand row 1.71.
Well, this is absolutely fascinating then.